So twining, you are going to need 2 needles. Please get it from Mrs. Cantrell or I. And once you're finished with it, please return it. Also with twining, I recommend doing more of a medium yarn compared to the normal type of yarn you're used to. It goes a little bit faster and it holds its weight a little bit more when you're doing it. Basically, twining is sort of a braided technique. There's going to be one string that you just do an under over weave. So that we'll just call that string 1. From my example, it's going to be the yellow string. Then there's another string that's going to go over and around those warp strings, still doing over under, but in a much different way than what you've been taught before. When your string 1 goes under, your string 2 is going to go over at a diagonal, under at a diagonal, over at a diagonal. So it's doing sort of this corkscrew throughout your weaving. It's going to end up looking very, very cool though. It just looks so amazing. I think it is such a neat, nice braided effect, and it really makes your weaving feel very well connected. So I've already attached my green and yellow string. The first thing I'm going to do is just do a very simple under over weave all the way across my weaving. Actually, don't pat it down like I just did. Leave a little bit of clearance like that so you can easily get in your thing. So I'm going to put my yellow, I'm just going to put my needle up here just so it's out of the way. And now what I've got to do is that tricky little part. So since my string is over, I'm going to go under. So I'm going to go at an angle like this. I'm going to pull my string through. Now, the reason why this is a little bit more difficult is you have to do 1 stitch at a time. So, on my next one, we would go, it kind of goes over. I don't actually have to stitch on this one because I'm just going to the next one where my yellow went over. I'm doing that same motion again. So actually, I guess it's not every single warp string. You're going every other warp string, and you're getting this design on the other ones just naturally. So I'm not paying attention to this one, but where I see the yellow over again, I'm going to go under behind it, coming in at an angle to the bottom left corner of your loom. Ta-da! And then by you doing that motion, because you went behind, the yellow stays in front, but then the green goes on top of where the yellow was under. Confusing, I know, but if you just focus on always going under at a diagonal, when the string number 1 is on top, you'll be able to get this. And so I'm just going to continue the same motion all the way throughout. I'm not pulling very hard when I'm coming through. I'm being kind of gentle with it. I don't want to pull really tight and have tension on some that I don't on others, so I'm just kind of leaving it looser. I also think it just looks nicer when it is loose like this. All right, so now I want to make sure that I'm doing the opposite of what I did on the first one. So we know that I ended on an over, so that means I need to go under. Now, this little row can now be smushed down. This row, remember to keep a little bit of space because it helps when we're diagonally stitching that green. Leave a little bit of room over here, And then don't push it down all the way, and then just kind of put your yellow one to the side, or your string one, I should say. And then for this, we are going to need to go wherever it is over. We're going to go, you know, we were going like this last time. This time we're going to go this direction towards the bottom right corner so that our strings are kind of going the other direction. But the same idea takes place wherever there's an over string, we're going underneath that string with angled towards the bottom right corner. Again, an over string, the yellow's over, so we're going under. Ah, it looks so good. I'm so happy. So again, string number 1 is over the warp string. So we're going under that warp string. Make sure you don't go through your row that you already did. You're only working on the current row. And again, you're angled towards the bottom right, because a good way to think of it is like, if your string is moving left, it's angled left. If your string is moving right, it's angled right. If that can help you remember. I'm just going to continue to work my way across now. Just like I did before, I'm just going to let my green rest to the side, and my yellow ended over, so that means I have to go under, over, under, over, under, over, and go. I'm just going to go ahead and do another row just so you guys can see what it looks like once you have 4 of the rows done. All right, so you can see how gorgeous this is. Just like we did with other yarns that we've done, we can kind of manipulate this and we can kind of spread it out so it looks nice, but you should tie both of them to the string, just like we've done, I mean, a bajillion and 1 times now, I feel like we've done this. Just to make sure that they're nice and secure, we can always glue it later. Great job on the twining. Woo!